Good afternoon and good morning, everybody. My name is Claude Moore. I'm the Intel Marketing Development Manager at Intel. And welcome to the Service Direct. Intel presents the new Xeon Processor E5-2600v2 product family. That's quite a mouthful. And in fact, we just released this product yesterday, so it's brand new. And we may have sounded a little mysterious in the invitations and the registration site, but we were being careful that since we had not launched the product until yesterday. But thank you for joining our presentation webinar today. I'll be talking here for about 5 minutes, and then we're going to have James Vogeltans speak about Intel's new Xeon E5-2600 server product. He'll take about 25 minutes. He's the Intel server product engineer. And then, of course, Todd Swank from Servers Direct, the Senior Director of Product Marketing, will talk about their Xeon E5-2600 based products as well, and he'll take about 10 minutes. In the way of housekeeping, in general, I think we'll probably end after about 45 minutes or so, but on the tool, as you can see on the left side, feel free to jump in and ask questions throughout the presentation, and we'll try to answer them as quickly as possible. In addition, we'll ask you survey questions throughout the presentation to keep it lively, but also to get some relevant information from you that would be interesting to gauge your, what matters to you most in these types of products. Over at the end of the session, we will have recorded this as well, and it'll be on Servers Direct site as well. So you'll be able to pick it up there. And at the end of the session, Todd will talk about the drawing for the next unit of computing, or the NUC product that we're giving away for your attending today as well. So I'll go ahead and turn it over to James. James, if you want to go ahead and begin. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Claude. So to start off today, I'll introduce myself. I'm James Vogeltans. I'm the Product Marketing Manager for the Intel Xeon Processor E5 family for our channel. And today I'll give you a brief overview of what we announced yesterday at our Intel Developer Forum, which is our new Intel Xeon Processor E5-2600v2 product family. And after I'm done, as Claude said, I'll turn it over to Todd Swank from Servers Direct to explain what systems that they'll be supporting this new processor with. So to start off, in summary, we've introduced this new processor yesterday, and the good news is that this new Intel Xeon Processor E5-2600 series is a drop-in replacement to our version 1 product family, also known as the Sandy Bridge architecture. As the current version and the new version, you may have heard it referred to as the Ivy Bridge code name for the product family, but officially it's called the E5-2600v2 product family. And so what the main things that it's bringing to these existing platforms is obviously performance and efficiency, and also a few new security features. So from an efficiency standpoint, by moving the process technology of the microprocessor to our 22 nanometer technology, we're able to increase the core count on the microprocessor. And as you'll see, that'll provide some healthy performance gains. In addition to that, we have some lower idle power numbers, so we'll have better energy efficiency and more performance at the same power levels as we see today with the version 1. Also, from a performance standpoint, we're seeing up to 30% performance on existing workloads with this drop-in CPU upgrade. For the most part, all it takes is a BIOS upgrade to support the new processor in the existing platforms to get that performance gain. Obviously, your mileage will vary. Some workloads will see larger performance gains than that, some less, but it's highly workload dependent. But the bottom line is that at similar price points to what you have today with the version 1 product family, you're going to see either an increased core count, increased frequency, or both at similar price points as to what we have today with the version 1 product family. And in addition to that, while there's not a lot of microarchitectural changes moving from the version 1 to version 2, there are a couple new security features that were added to the microarchitecture that I'll go into a little bit of detail on what those bring here in a moment. So the next slide here shows just what is the main differences between the version 1 family and the version 2 family that we announced yesterday. And as I said before, the main benefit that we'll see is an increased core count. So previously, our top SKU for the Intel Xeon processor E5 family was up to 8 cores, and with hyper-threading technology, it supported up to 16 threads on a single CPU. And of course, these platforms, most of the time, will have 2 CPUs per platform. Moving to the version 2 family, we have up to 12 cores, and of course, hyper-threading, that means up to 24 threads per CPU. And again, most platforms that you would see would have up to 2 of these CPUs in a single platform. From a cache memory perspective, it's the same amount of cache per CPU core, 2.5 megabytes. So we're at the top end going from up to 20 megabytes of cache to up to 30 megabytes of last level cache on the CPU die itself, moving from version 1 to version 2. The one platform change that is present is that there is support for faster memory speeds, the DDR3 memory speeds. Previously, the fastest memory supported was up to 1600 megahertz DDR3 officially. With version 2, we now support up to 1866 DDR3 memory officially on the processor. And of course, the configuration and depending on what SKU you choose from will depend on whether it supports that faster memory speed or not, or also has some dependency on how many DIMMs are on the motherboard itself. But there will be some platforms that in the market that will support those faster memory speeds. One of the benefits of the new process technology is increased energy efficiency, as I pointed out, and that translates into lower idle power consumption. So we do see some benefits of that as well. And in addition to that, we continue to support PCI Express Gen 3, and then we add support for hot plug capability as well on platforms that support that. From a security standpoint, there's a few new security features, which I'll go into a little bit of detail on what those mean later, but Secure Key and OS Guard are the names beyond that. Also, for folks doing virtualization, there's some new capabilities that increase the efficiency of virtualization called the APIC virtualization enhancement, and that basically just increases the efficiency of how certain hypervisors work with the CPU. So some of those will be implemented quickly, and some of those will be implemented in software as the next versions of hypervisors get implemented into the marketplace in the coming months. So with that, we're going to take a pause here and open up our first polling question. So Jody, if you want to bring that up. So based on what you've seen here today with the new product introduction, what's your favorite, or what are you looking most forward to with the new Intel Xeon processor E5 version 2? Is it the increased core count, the larger cache size, the support for faster memory, or the lower idle power support?
Yeah, just click on the button that's appropriate.
A second here to get the responses and see what we got here. So it looks like we're pretty evenly split between core count and memory, and looks like we got a vote for low idle power as well. So, all right, well, thank you. And let's go back to the presentation. All right, so with all of that, new features and core counts and frequencies, what does that actually mean in translating to performance? So in this first example, I tried to point out what a real customer that you might be dealing with today is looking at doing, and that is essentially replacing a system that's about 3 or 4 years old, and in this case, they're running Microsoft Exchange. And this gives an example of what kind of performance benefits can be seen by a customer that you might be interfacing with tomorrow when you're out calling on customers. And this gives an example of the increased performance that customer can achieve by upgrading their system from the Xeon 5500 series, which is about a 3 to 4 year old dual processor system that was on the market at that time. And by replacing that system with a new Intel Xeon processor E5-2600v2 based platform, you can see that they could support up to 5x more users in the same type of footprint with the same number of servers. But at the same time, in concert with that and possibly upgrading to SSDs at the same time, they could see not only an increase in user support by 5x, but at the same time delivering a higher level of performance by measured latency for the user experience. So instead of taking a real long time to set up a meeting or make an appointment or send a mail, they'd see a much lower latency when it comes to the performance level they'd see by utilizing the new servers with new solid-state disk drives at the same time. So that gives you an idea what level of performance you could see for a customer upgrading a legacy infrastructure from a system that's 3 to 4 years old with something new today, and utilizing the new software available as well as new hardware capabilities that the platform supports.
James, we got a question. Are there any server models supporting PCIe hot plug?
Well, that will be dependent on the manufacturer of the server. The technology itself is supported by the microprocessor. In this generation of platform, the PCI Express interface comes directly from the CPU itself to the PCI Express bus. It does not go through an I/O hub or anything like that.
Okay.
Well,
maybe Todd can address it when he
yeah,
gets
so I'll let Todd address that when he talks about the
great.
server's direct specific models, and maybe that would be a good question for him to address as they go through. But it will be dependent on how it's implemented at the server level and which manufacturer chooses to support that or not.
Great. Thank you.
Okay, so moving on, well, talking about security, there are some new features implemented in the Intel Xeon processor E5 version 2. The main ones are around the encryption technology that most people have come to know under the umbrella name of AES-NI. We have a new feature within that product family called Secure Key, but basically what that's delivering is a ability to do random number generator capabilities in a faster way and a more secure way. And in the next slide, I'll show you an example of what that means as far as real-world performance. In addition to that, the version 1 product family, in addition to the version 2 product family, supports a whole host of other security technologies as it relates to virtualization. We have, of course, the Intel virtualization technology umbrella of features, which there was one new one that I had mentioned earlier that increases the efficiency of virtualizing the APEC transactions. So we'll see that benefit in future versions of hypervisors as those come to market. And in addition to that, we have the trusted execution technology, which allows VM isolation and secure platform launch of new virtual servers in an environment. So that feature has existed in the previous generation and, of course, supported on the version 2 as well. But in this case, that's a feature that you're seeing now more implemented in software as the various OS vendors and virtualization software vendors are now starting to implement that feature in the latest versions of software. In addition to that, Intel has also released our own version of the Hadoop distribution, and as I'll show you in the next slide, we have some benefits from that as far as utilizing the new AES-NI instructions that provide some performance benefits for encryption and decryption. Obviously, Intel has chosen to implement those optimizations in our own distribution of Hadoop, but those can be made available to other distributions as well, and they'll be implementing those over time in addition to our own distribution. And of course, with the TXT technology that's existed already, we're seeing more utilization of that technology in modern hypervisors and operating systems. Okay, so what does the encryption optimization mean as far as real-world performance? So what this chart is showing is utilizing our Intel distribution for Hadoop. What does the ASNI optimizations mean to performance as it relates to encryption? So basically at the top chart here, you're seeing performance of encryption using the Hadoop solution. And then the bottom chart is showing bandwidth for decryption utilizing the ASNI optimizations or basically turning those optimizations off. So real-world performance-wise, we're seeing benefits of 5x to 19x performance encryption for encryption and decryption utilizing those optimizations for Intel's AES-NI technology with the modern storage solutions such as Hadoop. Now, of course, Intel's distributing our own version of Hadoop, but other distributions and other storage software that's based on other technologies will be implementing these optimizations as well. So in addition to the performance gain from cores and frequencies, we're also seeing tremendous benefits in these hardware level optimizations for things such as AES-NI. All right, so we're going to move on and talk a little bit more about the specific processors that are available with the new version. But before we do that, Jody, if you want to bring up my second poll question for the audience, based on what you've seen with these a couple examples of technologies, which one in your mind looks most interesting? So we have some breakthrough optimizations for encryption with Intel's distribution of Hadoop, or is the encryption decryption benefits of AES-NI the most interesting? All right, looks like we have a clear winner. So it looks like the performance benefits for AES-NI for encryption and decryption is the most interesting. So thank you for that. Jody, once you bring up the slide set again, we'll continue the section. All right. So I'm going to get into what are the new product offerings within the E5 version 2 product family. So before I get into the very specifics, I just want to give you an overview of how we break up all the myriad of choices that you have when you're selecting a processor from the product family. Basically, we break them down in a couple different buckets of SKUs. And we'll start at the bottom. So we've always had low-power optimized SKUs in our product line that basically have thermal design points at low levels so people can integrate those into either embedded applications or very small form factor or blade type infrastructures. So those will continue at those low power levels and then get the benefits of the new processor technology by adding more cores and frequencies at those same low power points. Moving up to the basic product family, again, we'll support systems with up to 4 cores per CPU for people that want the capability of having dual processor systems, but are very cost conscious, but will provide slightly higher frequencies at that 4-core level to those customers who are looking to get into the entry-level 2-socket systems. And for most of the customers, they're looking at basic CPUs in the standard and advanced product families. So that what you'll see basically across the board for these two segments is an increase of core counts of about 2 cores per CPU at the same price point. So if previously they were buying a standard SKU with 6 cores at a certain price point and thermal design point, they're going to see 8 cores now at that same or very similar price point at the same TDP. And also a slightly higher frequency as well in some cases. And at the advanced SKU level, again, they're probably going from 6 cores to 8 cores or 8 cores to 10 cores at similar power levels and price points. The new thing that we've added is segment optimized. We have a couple SKUs at the very high end with 12 cores. They're priced at a premium, but of course those are targeted for the most advanced workloads, but they are at the same thermal design points that systems have been designed for and running with the previous generation. So they're getting a larger increase in performance, so a 4-core advantage versus the previous 8-core, moving from 8 to 12 cores in the same CPU form factor. So what does that mean based on what we have today versus what we had yesterday? So if we look at this next slide, you can get a very clear sense of how that translates into performance of systems you've been buying for the last year or so, and these the new systems available now with the version 2 of the product family. So across the board, you're going to see performance increases of, in most cases, double-digit, and depending on where you line up in the SKU stack, it'll range from around 10% up to 30% or more performance at a certain workload. In this case, the benchmark we're using is second rate performance, and of course, some workloads will see better performance gains, and some will see lower than this, but this is a good proxy for a lot of different workloads. And so if a customer today is buying a E5-2600v2 SKU, and they're comfortable buying something at that price point and like the feature set that SKU delivers for them, then moving that customer up to E5-2600v version 2 will get them a performance increase, and in this case it'll be the same number of cores but a much higher frequency at a very similar price point. If they were buying a E5-2690 today, they're going to get an increase of core count from 8 to 10 cores, and then also a slight frequency increase as well, and receive a large bump in performance at similar price points. Okay, and then these last couple slides I'll just go through quickly, but basically for folks that are building systems at a component level, we have the same thermal solutions available that support the version 1 processors. We'll also support the E5-2600 version 2. The same TDP points are on both sets of SKUs, so the same thermal solutions are able to support the new version in addition to the old version. And as I mentioned before, the socket and everything is the same. A lot of cases, server platforms haven't changed at all, just simply a BIOS upgrade. So the same fans and heat sinks will carry over to the E5-2600 version 2. And then just lastly, I'll just bring up the entire SKU lineup and just mention that all of these SKUs are available as of yesterday. And for our channel customers, we do offer most of these SKUs in a box processor configuration, although some of these, as marked with the T here, are available only in the tray configuration, just because they tend to be lower volume, and that's how you will find those available out in the market starting now. So with that, that concludes my portion of the presentation today. So Claude, I'm going to turn it back over to you and let you introduce Todd.
Yeah, thank you, James. Great presentation. And again, we've got the questions bar on the left if you guys have any, or if any of the attendees have any questions at all. And now let's have Todd Swank, the Senior Director of Product Marketing at Servers Direct, talk about their products. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Claude. Thanks, James. You did a great job with the presentation. The XEON E5-2600v2 processor sounds like it's going to be another winner for Intel, as well as for any of the customers who are going to benefit from the enhanced performance and features that it will provide. I'm not seeing my slides yet, so waiting for those to come up. Here we go. Thank you so much. So I'm going to spend just a few minutes. Let's start over at the beginning. There we go. So I'm going to spend just a few minutes talking about Servers Direct and what we do for our customers, and then introduce 5 new servers we're now offering that feature the new Xeon E5-2600v2 processor. All right, so I'd like to tell you a little bit about our company. Our specialty is custom configurations. Our website currently features more than 100 different server configurators, and we're adding new ones on a regular basis. Our typical customer is too smart to buy from HP or Dell. Now, not that those companies sell bad systems. I mean, obviously they're great companies. They're huge companies for a reason. But they're very specific in what they sell. And our typical customer knows the exact server they want. And they don't necessarily want what HP or Dell tells them they want. They want to be able to pick the server that they want using the components they want. Our customers want to design their own servers using the hardware they specify, whether it's a specific hard drive, memory configuration, RAID controller, or any of a wide variety of other component options. You design it, we'll build it at a good price, and we'll ship it quickly. That's the motto we live by. So I wanted to address the question that came up earlier about PCIe hot plug. It is a feature that's available in servers out there. It's not going to be one of the 5 that we discussed today, but what we do at Servers Direct is take those exact kind of requests and deliver them. Customers looking for something with a unique feature like PCIe hot plug, you talk to one of our salespeople and they'll come up with a solution for you. Now, I do have a couple of poll questions that I'd like to start with. And if we can cut to those. So yeah, if you could answer these for me quickly. I'm just curious who we have on here for your existing customers for Servers Direct already, and how many servers are in use at your organization. You should see 2 different questions on there. So, okay, looks like we have a pretty good representation here across the board. And most of you are customers already, so thank you very much for that. We certainly appreciate your business and want to continue to do things that we can offer value to you, like this webinar with Intel. If you want to cut back to the slides, please. Thank you very much. And I'll just skip forward on this one. All right, so a little bit about Servers Direct. We've been in business since 2003 and are headquartered in City of Industry, California. We're an employee-owned company, which I know most people don't understand what that's all about, but it basically means that every employee here is dedicated to our success. They want to make sure our customers are happy and satisfied with the products they receive from us in the time that they want it at a good price, and that they want to be customers of ours not just once, but ongoing customers over and over again. We have more than 100 technology experts on staff currently, and our configuration center is a state-of-the-art build facility with both ISO and UL certifications. And we have more than 100,000 square feet of manufacturing space currently in play. We are currently one of the largest manufacturers of open hardware servers in the United States. In case you're not sure exactly what you want, or if you're seeking a solution in a brand new category of servers, then one of our expert server consultants is on hand and waiting to help you. We're constantly hearing from customers how much they appreciate their account managers and about the positive customer support experiences that they have with us. With many online companies, it's nearly impossible to get in touch with a human being, but our staff is accessible via online chat, email, or over the phone to collaborate with you to create the exact kind of server you want. Now, every now and then, we get questions or requests for customers that we haven't heard before. That's when we get to leverage our relationships with our vendors. We are a direct OEM for both Intel and Microsoft. We're an authorized integrator with Supermicro, and we have very strong OEM relationships with Seagate, LSI, Asus, Quanta, Micron, SanDisk, NVIDIA, and many, many more server component manufacturers. This gives us access to the best build instructions, device optimization strategies, and custom imaging capabilities from some of the smartest server technicians on the planet. Now, as James explained, the new Xeon E5-2600v2 processor are compatible with existing server platforms. So this gives us the option to add it to many different server configurations we've been selling for a while now. For this product launch, we've selected 5 new systems that we feel are especially well suited to take advantage of the powerful new features of this CPU. Our first offering is the hyperspeed servers. Now, hyperspeed is a term that Supermicro has coined that is kind of a unique segment of the server marketplace. This is for customers that don't care about power consumption. If you're not worried about paying the electrical bill, but you just want the best performing server that money can buy with the highest wattage CPUs and can just drive pure power, this is the server that you want. It's high power, high performance, and it's a great server. This particular unit features dual CPUs, up to 512 gigabyte of DDR3 ECC memory, 10 hot swap drive bays, 3.5-inch drive bays, and 1280 watt redundant dual redundant power supplies. With the hyperspeed technology, these make for the fastest, most powerful server solutions with compute speed and reliability as the primary focus, targeting mission-critical applications. This gives you up to application performance improvements of up to 30%. That's our hyperspeed servers. Our next category, high-density servers. This is a category that we keep getting more and more requests from customers. Very popular servers. We have a line of blades on the website as well as a line of high-density servers, which continue to grow in popularity. This server particularly features Supermicro's Fat Twin technology, which delivers both the best total cost of ownership with the highest performance per watt per dollar. It has 8 hot plug system nodes and a 4U rack mount chassis. Each node supports dual CPUs, up to 512 gigabyte of DDR3 ECC memory, and 6 hot swap 2.5-inch hard drive bays for a total of 72 drives in the 4U node, in the 4U server. Our GPU servers is another category that continues to grow in popularity. Everybody wants the power of a GPU in their system. This particular model features NVIDIA Maximus technology, which allows you to use either or both the NVIDIA Tesla cards or the NVIDIA Quadro video cards in the same system. It has 4 PCIe 3.0 slots, which each support a double-width GPU card. And if you're doing any kind of design, rendering, simulation, or analytical work, then this is the server for you. Storage servers, we have a wide variety of options on the site for storage servers as well. It seems like every organization out there can always use more data storage, and that's why we have such a wide selection of them. This particular model that we're featuring today has 72 drive bays, 2.5-inch, which can be populated with our wide selection of traditional hard drives or SSD drives, or mix and match depending on what you need. If you'd like us to pre-install an operating system on this, we have a lot of different options, from Linux to VMware to Microsoft Server 2012 to standard server, or many other options if you want us to install an operating system. Or we could sell to you without an operating system if that's what you prefer. And then our final one is just a standard 1U server, and the reason I listed it is because it continues to be one of our best-selling products. We sell a lot of 1U, 2U, 4U servers, and people use them for a wide variety of applications, private or dedicated application servers, or standard SMB solutions. So this particular model is a Supermicro 1U, and it features dual XEON E5-2600v2 CPUs, up to 512 gigabyte of DDR3 memory, and 4 3.5-inch hot swap drive bays. So that's the 5 new servers that we are offering now on Servers Direct. You can see any of these immediately on serversdirect.com/E5v2. If you have specific questions, or there's a model that you need that you didn't see in our presentation today, or you don't find on our website currently, please feel free. Email sales@serversdirect.com. Hit the chat button at the top of the site, or give a call to a rep. They're waiting to help you come up with the exact kind of server you want. So that's the end of my part of the presentation. We are giving away a free NUC to one of the participants on the call today. I will gather that data from the webinar company, and we will do a drawing quickly to select a winner, and I will send out an email to everybody so you know who won that.
And you'll have a recording of it on your site as well, correct?
recording of the
Presentation.
webinar?
Yes.
Yes. We will definitely, when we get the recording of this webinar, we will post it on Servers Direct so you can come back and see it if you want. And I'll send you an email to that link as well. So
Great.
I think that covers everything, Claude, so I guess I'll turn it back over to you.
Thank you, Todd.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, James. Thanks, everybody, for attending. That concludes this webinar presentation today, and hopefully we'll have some more in the future. Thank you. Oh, we have an exit poll. Please answer that as well. We're going to go ahead and post that up. Thank you. And if you have any other questions, please feel free. I think there may be one over there on the right. If you guys want to answer that as well. But if you have any other questions, please go ahead and feel free to offer them up. Thank you, everyone.